John Franklin here for the Combat Press. I'm here with World Series of Fighting President Ray Sefo. Ray, I wanted to just touch on a few things that are sort of outside the world of World Series of Fighting, and then we'll sort of go into World Series of Fighting. Let me get your thoughts on Rousey-Holm. Do you think, and this is how I want to kind of frame it, one, just your thoughts on the fight, and then two, do you think that Rousey deserves an immediate rematch?
I thought it was a great fight. I personally picked Holly-Holm to, it's funny because I texted Ali and I said, I think Holly-Holm's going to knock her out. And that's exactly what happened. Not taking anything away from Ronda. I mean, Ronda is a great fighter. But you're talking about a fighter in Holly-Holm who is a world kickboxing champion, who is a world boxing champion. And Ronda's never faced a fighter that brings those kind of skills to the table. Sure, she's fought other fighters, but you're talking about a fighter who can move on her feet really well. And I think the biggest test was whether Holly-Holm could defend the takedown or defend the throw and you know, the clinching, and she did. I mean, again, I think you know, the Jackson camp have done an amazing job with Holly-Holm, getting her ready, getting her prepared. The game plan was on point, and they beat her. And they didn't just beat her, you know, by a fluke or it was hard. I mean, she made the fight look really easy. Again, you know, you can't take anything away from what Ronda's done. She's a great fighter, but when you think about people like Holly-Holm, I mean, she's just an amazing athlete. She's an amazing fighter. She's been there and done it. She's been into dogfights. She brings a wealth of experience in boxing and kickboxing, as well as MMA. And you know, and yesterday, Ali and I talked about it. That a lot of people don't know that Holly-Holm has been training mixed martial arts for 8 to 10 years.
She's been at that gym, yeah.
Well, that's right. Well, I mean, and Ali also had this experience where he's was in judo, I believe, with Ronda, and then when he was with the Jackson camp, he was one of Holly-Holm's sparring partners for 3 years. So it's funny, when he told me that, I was kind of surprised why he actually went the other way, because he picked Ronda to win that fight. I picked Holly-Holm to win that fight. And again, the ladies came out. They put on an amazing fight. Holly-Holm, congratulations to Holly-Holm, because I think she's going to be a great champion. She's going to be a champion for a while. And in fact, she's a real down-to-earth person. You know what I mean? Real humble, and I love champions like that. You know, who just come out and just do their thing, and they don't need to do too much talking. They come out there and they prove to the world who they are, and that's exactly what Holly-Holm did.
Now, as far as the immediate rematch goes, there's two schools of thought. Now, from a promoter's perspective, you come at it from a promoter and a fighter's perspective.
Right.
There's a lot of money in a rematch.
Right.
But yet, Ronda could go back in there much like Renan Barão did against TJ Dillashaw and be the same guy. The same girl.
As a promoter, I think it's a great fight. As a fighter or as a coach, if I was Ronda's coach, I personally wouldn't want that fight right off the bat. I think it would be good for Ronda to have one or two fights to get her confidence back, to get warmed up, and go, and maybe work with more experienced boxers, kickboxers. And this, it's really funny because how people say, well, she was a boxer and this and that. No, this was a mixed martial arts fight. She didn't step in there as a boxer. She didn't step in there as a kickboxer. She stepped in there as a mixed martial artist. Holly-Holm is 9-0 as a mixed martial artist. You know what I mean? And so, but coming back to this, I think if as a coach and as a fighter, I think Ronda needs to take some time out, and also from what I understand is that Ronda is actually going to be shooting a movie and also doing other things, and so which I think is going to be great for her because. She's been busy. She's been active. She's been in the game for a while. So I think if she steps out of that circle and kind of get him, do other things that she's good at, and of course keep it training up. But it's a rematch that I don't think it should happen so soon, so fast. And I hate to bring this up, and I know Ernesto Hus is going to hate this, but I'll give you the perfect example is Ernesto Hus got knocked out by Bob Sapp. 3 months later, K1 made that rematch. He got knocked out again. It's just, I don't think, in this case, I think Ronda needs to work with high-level kickboxers, high-level boxers. And I can't question, I've heard some rumors about her coaches and what have you. I can't question the coaches because I don't know who they are. You know what I mean? And so, so I've heard some people say that the game plan was a bad game plan. Well, we really can't say that because if if Ronda came out and knocked out Holly Holmes or grabbed and submitted her, then nobody would have said the game plan was wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ronda fought the way she fought, and the things that the fight didn't go her way. So would she come back out and next time round would she be a little bit more patient? And but again, like I said, I think she needs to work with some high-level kickboxers, high-level boxers. Of course, I mean she's a champion at what she does on the ground. She's a great grappler. To round off the answer is, I think she needs some time out, and I think she needs to have maybe 1 or 2 fights, and maybe fight some serious strikers, and then look at fighting Holly Holmes again.
Well, speaking of a serious striker and an experienced kickboxer, that's what you are. So there's some rumors about that you're going to enter the ring again. I just want to I watched you on Inside MMA, and
right.
I saw you kind of didn't know quite where it was then. Have there been any developments on that front since then?
No, it's I'm still waiting on on confirmation on that, but I'm still training. The thing is, the funny thing about this is that because the fight is in Japan, and that's where the offer came from, and so and there's another offer on the table also elsewhere, but I can't really speak on that until there's some sort of confirmation on it. But the one in Japan is that sometimes they'll call you and then you don't hear much about it, and then 2 weeks before the fight they say, we'd really like you to fight. So meanwhile, I understand. Ready. So meanwhile, I'm staying ready, just in case that does happen.
Okay. This question's kind of just for me. So, Bas Rutten's status with the company, is there a chance for him to do some more commentating in the future? Does Chael now hold that position? What's Bas's sort of status?
Bas is our guy. Chael's our guy. You know what I mean? Bas is a legend. And Bas would always be, as long as he wants to be part of Wizards of Fighting, he'll be part of Wizards of Fighting. We started this company with Bas as our main color commentator. Chael Sonnen is amazing at what he does as well. Those two are going to be kind of go back and forth, because Chael is sometimes busy, Bas is sometimes busy. So we're really fortunate to have two guys who at that caliber of being in front of the camera and know the sport the way they know the sport. And so Bas is definitely there, and like I said, it's such an honor to have both guys be part of our team.
Awesome. All right, so it's announced that Jake Shields and John Fitch are going to fight for your vacant 170-pound title. I have a question about Rousimar Palhares, and my question is, in terms of discipline with him, obviously he was stripped of the title, are you guys sort of taking the lead or taking the note from the commissions as far as that goes? Is there anything over and above that? Is he still a part of World Series of Fighting? Where's he at as far as
Well,
the
right now, obviously, he's got to sit out his, punishment and his suspension, and so that's where that's at right now. Until that's said and done, we haven't really talked about it much because, like we've said, we were going to wait on the commission to make their final decision, and their final decision is, and this is the reason why I said in the beginning, is that he was suspended. I suspended him indefinitely because number one, I don't know whether the commission was gonna suspend him for 5 years. You know what I mean? And then it means his career is over. They suspended him for 2 years. Where he goes from there, I have no idea. You know, it's just a matter of, I guess, seeing what is serving his time, and then see where he goes from there and what he wants to do.
The interesting thing about the commissions is that there's kind of a lot of different things. It's like the NFL. There's a lot of different things that happen, and you have to come up with punishments based on, you know, you get 4 games for domestic violence and you get 2 games for whatever.
Right.
So in your position, when you have a guy on your roster like Jason High, and I'll say out front, I completely disagree with the way Jason High's punishment went at the end of the Dos Anjos fight when he pushed the ref. I understand why they wanted to make an example of him. What are your thoughts on how that went down? And I don't want to get you in trouble with the commissions, or I don't want you to feel like you're put in a spot, but can you understand sort of High's emotions in that spot? He felt like it was stopped early. Like, what were your thoughts on that when you decided to bring him in?
I actually didn't really. I mean, it wasn't until probably about 2 weeks ago I heard what had happened, but I didn't really know the exact story to it. I heard that he pushed the ref after the fight, and that was it. Now, if that was it, then his punishment was a bit too harsh. I get that, you know, they got to lay the law down, but, you know, you're talking about an athlete who's at the prime of his game. And listen, they could have slapped him with a fine. They could have slapped his hand and said, don't do it again. But, hey, listen, I think it's too harsh, but the commission are there for a reason. Not only the safety of the fighters, but also the safety of the officials, like the referees and the judges and everybody else that's involved. So I understand, but I also think, you know, the punishment was a little bit harsh.
And I think, too, I mean, that's kind of what the guy's there for. I mean, he shouldn't have hands laid on him, but emotions are high. Two guys who are in a fight. And if you look at what happened post the fight, Dos Anjos is not a lightweight champion of the world. So an early stoppage against a guy like that changes the course of your career.
Right, exactly. And you know, and it's different. It's different me going, you know, what are you doing? Than me going, cracking the guy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a completely different scenario. You know, again, we've all been in that heat of the moment. I've been in that heat of the moment where I go up to say congratulate my opponent for a good fight, and you know, he turned around and he was obviously not happy, and I said, well, let's do it again. He says, yeah, and I dropped him again. So in saying that, I'm not saying that that's right. Absolutely, that was not the right thing to do. But that's, again, it's the heat of the moment, and Jason High didn't go that far. You know what I mean? And so, I think it might have been a little bit too harsh. But he served his time, and he's now he understands it better, and we're very fortunate to have him on our
Absolutely,
card.
he's a high-level guy.
Yeah. And
then finally, I want to talk about this. So this is your 25th show in number. Obviously, you've had more shows than 25, but it's sort of a symbolic number. It's the 25th anniversary. So just take a couple of minutes to sort of just look back over the 25 shows or the time frame that passed. Just what are your feelings? I mean, when you look back and you go, wow, 25 shows. I mean, you guys are young, but that's an accomplishment. Not every promotion gets to 25 shows.
Right, exactly. I couldn't be any more happier or excited, especially because of this tournament. But the fact that we've been here for 3 years, we've had 25 shows. I remember, I think by I can't recall 100%, but I think it was either our first or our second show. I had heard certain reporters say, they're going to be around for 3-4 shows and they're going to be done. Well, we're not. We're still here, and we're still moving forward strongly, and we're still going to continue to build talent, and still continue to put on good shows. Of course, that goes to the support and love from our partners. Our partners in NBC, our partners in IMG, our partners within our company. So no, WSOF Fighting is here to stay.